Alright, hi Connor, part two. We're jumping straight back in here and looking exactly where we had left it off from the previous tutorial. We've got two windows open. This is looking through camera view in 3D mode. This one is up at the UV editor where we edit our UVs. We've unwrapped that surface, still got that selected. Gonna scale that up a bit, that UV up there. So if you've deselected it, all you've got to do is down here select your face and that ground plane, and it should pop up here. If you don't see the UVs, this little picture, soil beach, that'll give us our UVs. And I'm going to press S with my mouse around here just to scale it up a bit more. I'm noticing I'm not seeing a lot of repetition, so I'm not upset with it. And I'm just going to talk about Windows like I said I would, because I said I would. So we opened up another window, and like I said, at school we see a lot of people who just put a window up like that and there's a window hidden in there. And it's not a bad idea, I suppose, but you sort of want to close windows when you're not using them. So the way to do that is when you're moving it up and down, you can right click and go join area. Now when you click on that join area, a couple of things happen. You get these arrows, these faint arrows here pointing down, or if you hold it up here, pointing up. So what do we want to happen? Do we want this window to collapse down and we'll just be left with this one, or this one to collapse up and we're just left with the 3D view? At the moment, I'm not going to do much. I will collapse one up. Okay, we'll go back to 3D view. That's closed. If I want it back, little three arrows, drag it down, change to UV, UV image editor, and I'm back at image editor. Can't see anything though, because I need my picture back. There she is, really close up, scroll out, and look how big my UVs are. I have made them massive. That's alright, because it's a seamless texture. So if what we want to do now is we want to have a look at these metal materials. I'm going to just have a look in here at one of our metal girders. Where is our metal girder? Let's go select our base. Do I have that? No, I'm in edit mode. I'm selecting in edit mode. I want to go into object mode, select the base, and can't select anything else other than something that's in your edit mode. When you're in edit mode on an object, nothing else is touchable. So we need that one selected. Now let's go edit mode on that one and have a look at one of these girders. Just move this out of the way a little bit. I'll keep it up there. I'm going to be using it soon. Okay, I'm just going to select a face and press the decimal point on my keypad, just so I'm zooming around that bit. It's really hard sometimes to move. So what we can do with this one is we can not put a texture to it, but make it a material. I'm going to go to material mode. No, I'm on material mode. It's a white material. So let's add a new material to it. We go to their materials and go new. We can plus and then new, and it's white, and that's where it started. We are going to adjust the color here rather than add a texture. So I'm going to pull my little window down again, and instead of work with our UV editor, we're going to go into nodes. This, then up to node editor, and we see this. Now let's have a look here. What this is it's this material here, but in node form, and it is a really fantastic way to think about colors, because what it's saying is a plain diffuse, and diffuse is just color, right? Big word, color. This color, we can choose it, as you know, we can choose any color we want, and it goes to the surface of our object. This is our object. So, or in this case, that face, but at the moment it's only got one object. So what we do here, it's going to do to the entire thing. But we're going to assign materials to different things. We're going to make multiple materials, and we're going to give this one material and this one a different material and that sort of thing. So let's make one of those materials, and let's make I'll just go to my pictures. Here we go. Let's make a bluish, a really pale blue metal girder colour. Alright, and there's not a lot of reflection there, but it does give a feeling that it is metal. So let's have a look. We don't want white, but we also want it to have a bit of shine. We are going to make it a bit shiny. Okay, ours is going to be cleaner and more, I don't know, metalish than theirs. Let's open up this little side panel. That little plus side on this one gives us something different to what it does in 3D mode. Just going to move this one down. Let's have a good look at that. And we can see it down in there. That's fine. We're cool with that. What it does, I'm just going to move these, and it's always, you can just move these around all you want. If I try and unconnect, if I connect something up, I connect it out like that, so I'll drag from dot to dot. That's the surface, that's how we select it. We can do things like hold down control and cut lines. Now look at that, it's turned all black because it says I don't know what to call it anything. Now I've got nothing, I just got to go to black. Let's connect it back up to the surface, and she's back to white. It's not worried anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to take a diffuse and we're going to mix it with a little shiny. So over here in our shaders, and these are called shaders. Here, if we wanted an image texture, we could put an image to it as well. And if I just very quickly, don't do this, I'm going to get out of there. There's the nodes for our base, our ground floor. It's saying take the image texture, that's soil, alright, I'll stretch that out so because you can read it, soil beach, make that the colour and put it into the surface of our object. Let's go back out of there and jump back into, what do I want to do? I want edit mode. Alright, back in here and edit mode. We can work in object mode now that we've made our material, but we'll just go in edit mode because I don't want to deselect anything or select anything outside. So I don't need textures, I need shaders. And look at this, we got lots to choose from. I'm going to drag it out a little bit in our shaders. We got a mix shader, that's going to mix two shaders together. We've got an add shader, that's going to put more value. When you're adding, you are making brighter, increasing the strength of colors, especially brightness. That's our diffuse. That's our one right here. If we clicked on that, we'd have another diffuse. We got a glossy. We got transparent, very good for trees. I'll talk about that another time. Refraction. Refraction I've never used, but I think that it'll really slow up our time of rendering. Glass, use that a lot. Translucent, sort of see-through. Anisotropic, now that makes render times really slow, but it's a good metal. You can have velvet. This is toon. You can, there's all sorts of things here. Emission, that's a big one. That's for lights. If we want a surface to be a light, we use emission. That's for fog, and when we start working with smoke simulations and fire simulations, that's where we work. I'm not sure what these other ones do. Ambient occlusion, that's sort of the shadow that appears around things. I shouldn't talk about all of them for the moment, because what we're going to do is we're going to mix diffuse and shiny or glossy. So I'm going to click on glossy. And as I move my mouse back over here, there's my glossy shader. I'm going to drop him right down there. It's got the same thing that the diffuse shader does, but I can only have one thing in the surface. There's glossy, there's surface, diffuse. So what we use is a mix shader. So we click on mix shader, drag that over. When I hold it over that line, it goes orange. And if I drop it there, it'll automatically connect itself in that spot. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it in there. You can just drop it anywhere, and then, if I was to, we'll just connect that back up there. If I was just to drop it here and go into shader, into surface, and that's it. So I could connect it up that way. What this is going to do is it's going to give us some glossy. So now I'm just going to move this up a bit. Let's have a look at this viewport here. Now, you're going to have no problem, I'm sure, with going to rendered view. Rendered view shows you what we're looking at. Now, a couple of things. Up here, samples ticking over. It's becoming more clear. We have 10 samples. All of that, those fireflies, those little dots, they're because we're working with a glossy shader, and it really slows up my mouse, and I'm recording at the same time, so it's having a real trouble with this one. So what I'm going to do, and just check, like, I'm not sure whether or not what sort of graphics card your computer has, but ask your dad whether or not GPU compute is an option. I'm just going to change it here, but I don't suggest you do, because you'll be all right. You're using the processor will be fine. It's because I'm recording, so I'm just going to go GPU compute, and that's going to speed things up for me an awful lot. All right, and get rid of a couple of fireflies, but that's only because we're not doing many cycles. When we do lots of cycles for a render, it'll look a lot better. So that's my color at the moment. It looks like it's reflecting everything. That's why it's so brown. And we want a blue, and it's mainly the diffuse that we use for our color picker. So let's just drag the blue down. Now it's going to change everything. Everything on this object's going to change, but I'm just looking at those bars. And I'm going to leave it there for the moment. All right, we can come back and change that. Actually, I might bring the factor down. Now, what this is doing is it's saying, right, how much diffuse and how much glossy do you want to mix together? And at the moment, we're exactly halfway. We're going half and half. But if I move this, I'm just going to slide this up this way, I have made it all very shiny. And what that's done is it said, I want all of this glossy, because that's the bottom one there, is saying how much of this do you want to mix in. The bottom one is what you're mixing with the top one. So how much? Oh, so much of it, 0.909, so 90% of it is glossy. And if I go right down the other end, I get a very plain diffuse blue shader, no shiny. I don't want too much shiny, but I want a bit. So, it's a bit more pale. That's a very deep blue. I'm just going to move this back to the center just a bit paler, because we don't want anything to clash too much. I'm going to scroll out there. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. That fence is looking nice out the back too. We're going to deal with that. So that's going to be our blue girders, all right? And we're also going to have, that is going to be the same blue girder. What about this? Ooh, let's jump underneath there. I mean, this is going to be I should change back to material mode, because it gets very slow. You want to just, only when you're working with your shaders and getting your colors right, do you go into that mode. Down in here, rendered, only when you're just changing these things. Otherwise, stay in this view, because it'll be smooth. You saw how, we can't select things in rendered view. You can't see faces. It's actually the picture we're going to make, and it really takes processor power, and you don't want to spend too much time there. All right, so that's that one there. Let's do this rail, and I'm going to just grab this, show you. This rail is sort of a rusty, I'm going to go a rusty red on this one. All right, rusty red. So let's go. We need to name that material, don't we? Let's jump back to our materials here, double click on material 1 and call this blue steel. Blue steel. Alright, and now we're gonna add another one. Let's add, actually first of all, I'm just gonna select one of the things that's going to be this rusty one face. I'm going to press L, select all of it. I'm going to go plus up here, this plus here, and I don't have a name or anything, so I'm going to go new, and then call this rusty. Rusty steel. Pretty good. Enter. Change it anywhere. Should have gone a capital. Don't have a capital on that one, but I got one on that one. Never mind. And there's our new material. We're going to do the same we did with last one. We're going to take our diffuse and we're going to get a mix shader and pop it in there, and we're going to get a glossy. Click on glossy, put it there, plug it in. Now, we don't want white, we want a sort of a red. Now, what I'm noticing is nothing's changing because I haven't assigned this to anything. As far as the model's concerned, this is the only material. It's the first one we put on. It instantly put it on everything because the first material put on a model goes on everything. So now we start making new materials and assigning them to new things. And this is what this is about. Assign. We've got the faces selected that we want to assign it to. We could also hold L over, let's go L, that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, that one, and that one. I'm just going to get a couple. We're going to get all of them in a moment. And click Assign. Now that changed it just slightly, but we won't notice until we go back into Rendered View. Rendered. And now you can see a bit of a difference. Too much glossy. Look how much reflection we've got. That's our light, and it's just beaming on it. So let's take this right down here. Get rid of some of that glossy. Sort of mellowed a bit. Not really happy with the shape, but that's fine. Let's go. Make it a bit redder. Red, 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 red. Yeah, I'm actually going to go a pretty deep red on this one. For some reason, I'm not happy. I'm going to go darker. Let's go darker. That's a bit closer to what I want. I'm just going to scroll back, have a look from a distance. Okay, it's very hard to see with this because it's just so, we're not rendering out. It's got a bit of shine to it. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. We can mess around with it later. What we really want to do is just get it assigned to all the pieces that we want to be red. And I'm going to go all of these ones here. I'm going to go these lines here, I think. Yep, I am. You know, the bars down here. So let's do that. Let's get out of this because it's so slow. Wireframe. Oh, I don't want wireframe. I want solid. Solid. No, I want material. Yeah, that's happy. And we can just keep on selecting L. Just going to do this really quickly. L, L. These little bars in here. L. Don't want that back. Be very careful. Going to zoom in. Oh, how am I going to get that? There's one right up close. L. Sometimes it's just where you hold it. There it is. There it is. L. L. See, I can safely just keep tapping there because I can't select that thing behind it because it's the other object. Oh, there's one. L. And down the bottom, L. And over here, L. And L. Oh, that rest of the rail going around the corner. L, L. If I keep saying L, I think that it'll be easier to remember. But I also say other things like Shift S to center and cursor to center. That's important. Just going to grab that one just with the edge. Let's get that and that and that and that and get top. Top is there and there. I know that there's no other faces there. I've got to shift middle mouse button, slide. There it is. Oh, it's disappeared behind our thing there. Okay. I think that's everything I need. Yep. We're on Rusty Metal. Let's click Assign. And Rusty Metal has been assigned. In the mirror you can see it a lot better. That's material mode, but if we went back into object mode, we would also see it on the rest of it. So let's have a look at this. Alright. Now, this, if I just jump back, I'm going to show you the picture very quickly. We've got sort of a bluish tinge concrete here, and we've got a sort of a grey, browny, dirty concrete slab here. We've got some whitish concrete down here. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to go into too much trouble. Like here, it's much the same. This concrete slab, this stuff here seems to be the same as this stuff here, but that's a bluey, and they're sort of the same as those bricks. We'll get to the bricks soon. So let's have a look at this walkway. Just the walkway. That bit, and that bit. I'm going to hold down Shift as I select them. So I'm going to right click that one, hold down Shift, right click that one, hold down Shift, right click that one. Shift held down, select all three. What else am I going to do? I want to... Where's my picture gone? I want to do the steps as well. There's steps there. They're the same. And we'll do those later. They're going to be the same material, but we'll attach those later. Let's just unwrap this, because we're going to put a texture to this one, but it's not going to be a straightforward square like our last one. I'm going to select a couple of faces here, mate. See these edge faces here? I'm going to select that one. Hold down Shift and get that one. Hold down Shift and get that one. Yep, that's all of those. I'm going to get this rim here, Shift there, and that one there, because I'm going to have a full slab. It's going to be thick. That's going to be blue girder underneath, and I'm going to get that one, and 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 that one. In fact, what I might do is hold L over these, L, and get all of their faces, back, front, and bottom. L. So I've got, what have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3 there. I've got the top of the rim, which are just next to those faces, those big faces. I've got the bottom, the lip of that one there, and I've got all of the steps, L down there. And that means that I've got everything, except for this bit here. Actually, do you want to do that now? Because it will be awesome to... no, let's stick with that. I don't even... Now I'm thinking I shouldn't do this. Okay, I am going to... No, I'm going to do it. Let's try. We can unwrap it as many times as we want. It's just the pattern you get when you unwrap. So... I'm going to add a material first to this one. I'm going to go New Material Plus. I'm going to go New, and I'm going to change it to an image texture. It already pops up here. We're going to see it form. So let's go there and Image Texture. Now you don't have to do it that way. If you like working in nodes, I'm just going to delete that. Same as everything. Delete key, or X. I'm going to close up shaders and go to textures, and I'm going to get an image texture. Click on image texture, pop it in there, plug it into the color, And there we have an image texture. We can also open our image texture here. We can open it here as well, but we can open it here. Let's go open into our textures, and what I've got is Seamless Concrete 2. I made these seamless concrete. I'll show you where all these textures come from. It's cgtextures.com. It's a free website, cgtextures.com, and you can download 15 megabytes a day, and they're all free, and all Creative Commons license, so that you can use them in your not-for-profit organisation. So, Seamless Concrete 2, selected it. I'm going to double click on it, and there she is. She's popped in there. Really interesting though, we're not seeing a texture, are we? We're just seeing flat space. Even if I go into textured rendered mode, it's not really giving me I haven't assigned it. I'm going to assign it. Let's assign this material to all those faces we selected. Assign. Now I'm not happy with that, because I'll show you my texture. Where's my texture? This is my texture. That's my texture. And it's got little ripples in it, like concrete, like it's been laid. And I'm going to want to see that on my render because it looks real. So we haven't unwrapped this. Go back to solid view, material view. We need to unwrap this one, and it's a complex unwrap. And this is why I thought maybe I shouldn't select these stairs, because it might be best if we just do this flat bit there and each stair individually, because unwrapping things, when you're unwrapping lots of stuff, it becomes a big drama. So let's have a look at our UVs. At the moment we don't have any because we've unwrapped nothing, but I'm going to go to UV editor here, change outer nodes into UV image editor. We don't want this picture here because that's our sand. Let's click on our picture choices here and choose Seamless Concrete. There's the image we want. It's been loaded in because we loaded it in over here, or in our nodes. And let's we'll pull this back up because I'm going to do it over here. UV shading, this tab here. Unwrap, we have all these options. If we were unwrapping cylinders, sometimes I'd use this one, but it's really messy. You should see what happens if you do that. If we were just wrapping those stairs on their own, they're kind of cubes, so I'd use cube projection. Sphere for round circles like planets. I'm going to go one of these ones. Now these are very sort of advanced algorithms to sort of say, okay, we've got a general idea what you're trying to do here, try this. I'm going to go Smart UV Project, and I get a new option, and I don't know what it means. And here's the thing, I have never changed anything here. I've always pressed OK, and I've always been impressed. Let's see what happens when I up here at my UVs. So it unwrapped them. And this is what it's done. First, let's have a look down in there. There's my texture. You can see it now. These are my UVs. You can tell that this is my walkway. And when I click on those UVs, you can see it's being selected or activated down here. These ones here look like, and I'll show you some, with some selection stuff. These ones here look like the top of my stairs. If I zoom out, one of them, the bottom and the top. Where are you going to be? There it is. Oh, that was a top one. So that square there is going to be a projection of that stair. That stair right there. Everything we put underneath the UVs in that picture is going to be there. And I can move it. I can go G and move it, and you can see it moving underneath. So we can really we can put anything on a face we want. If you've got a picture of it, you can put a UV over the top of it. We can even paint and right click and let it snap back. But this is such a random thing. This is concrete. So let's just box select all of them, B for box, drag it all over. Everything's selected. It doesn't matter that things run out over here because, like I said, they're seamless and it'll tile. And let's scale it up because this is really thick texture. You don't see, this is terribly laid concrete. Let's fine it out. Let's scale it. Scale, scale, scale. Scale, scale, scale. Now we've got nothing over it, but it's constantly repeating, so it's not a problem. And let's zoom out. And let's also, while we're doing this, I'll just move this up, I don't need that much. Let's go into rendered view down the bottom. Rendered. And there's our concrete. Now, I am not upset with that at all. It's interesting to me, however, that things are becoming a lot less blue with our metal now that we don't have as much reflection of white. It's starting to look a lot less blue. So, I think I want it more blue. Let's put the concrete texture to these plinths underneath. Let's do that first. Let's just get that done. Where are we? 30 minutes right now. Yep, I'm going to do really quick, Connor, really quick. All right, how do I do that? I need to go into solid mode. I need to, now this is really, really good. Check this out, all right. I've spent all that time selecting that material right here, okay. If I had to select all of those ones again, if I wanted to change it or put anything on it, it would be a really big pain in the neck. Oh, I'm going to rename it. Concrete. Concrete. So, imagine I accidentally click on a face that I don't want. I've deselected everything. I just spent all that time selecting all this stuff. That is just crazy. But, check it out. I can deselect everything, so now I've got nothing selected. I can choose my concrete material in my concrete panel, and I can click select. And now I've got it all back. So materials not only help you to make your object come to life, but they're also useful when you're modeling. So if I wanted to change anything with it, and I knew what material it had, but I didn't want to have to spend all the time picking all the faces, I can just select those faces. So if I wanted to work on all the rusty steel things, select. Now I've got them both selected. It adds to the selection. So I've got to go get rid of everything. You can, instead of was it select none? Select inverse, random, sharp edges. There it is. Deselect all. If you want to, if you don't want to know the short, select. Anything, whenever you'll want to select something, you can usually find it in here somewhere. Deselect. Select the opposite of what you've got selected. That's fantastic for materials. So if I only had two materials, say it was going to be concrete and blue steel, I would go select all my concrete, select inverse. Everything but the concrete is now selected, which is just awesome. So, blue steel, we're going to change it. This is, isn't that interesting? It's got UVs. We're in UV editor and blue steel has UVs. I didn't know that. Something's been unwrapped. Let's go to our node editor up the top here. This one, nodes, where's node editor? There it is, node editor. And there's blue steel. We have it selected here so we can see blue steel. Let's go. Now this roughness, this is also sort of shininess. If you want something not to reflect as much, you can also increase the roughness in the glossy. I might do that because it was a bit too shiny. I'm going to go to rendered view to have a look at this. Yeah. I'm not sure whether or not I'm messing around with it too much. Middle mouse button down and you're moving around like that. Scroll out. Yeah, this can be very cramped. When you're working like this, very cramped. You don't need to work like this. You can just change it. Work with, I'm just going to close this up. Right click, join area. Hold it above here. Going to close this up. So generally, you work in here. You want to go to your node editor. You can just change this to node editor. And there she is. I've got this blue steel selected. I'm just working with lots of nodes. These can be very complex. We're gonna get into a couple of complex ones, but it happens. But the problem, of course, is I can't see it as I change it. So that is the problem. Little arrows, drag it down, make this my 3D editor. Either one can be. 3D, there she's back. Alright. Gonna make it a bit more bluer. If I want to change it later, I can. Darker blue, maybe a bit darker there. Not so much blue. Only a bit more. It's very delicate. You mess around with stuff. Alright, let's put the concrete down here. That was 5 minutes and I was supposed to do it 5 minutes ago. Back into solid mode or material. Right click on that face there, press L. Just that. L. Shift down, slide it along, middle mouse button. No, that's everything. Let's unwrap those. So let's go to our UV editor just to make sure everything works out nicely. UV editor up top. Can't see anything. Don't have the material I want. Let's go seamless concrete. There she is. Let's assign concrete. Click on concrete and assign it to our selection, because at the moment it's blue steel. Assign. Now let's go in there, and I'm not upset with that. They could be a bit rougher. If we made them a bit, let's have a look at that in rendered. Yeah, they look a bit rougher. I mean, they're darker. I want them to look a bit different. I'm not sure I'm going to keep that as it is. Oh, look at that. I just noticed I've got a pole here who's blue steel, and I want him to be red steel. Let's go. Not object mode. Yes, material mode. Right click up there and go U. Unwrap. Oh, okay, I won't do it the shortcut. I just press U and there are all the options. The options are unwrap, that stuff. So if I press U, I get it all anyway. It's so much, UV, unwrap, starts with a U, very simple. But you can always just go to your tool panel here and go shading and UVs. Let's go unwrap. Now, another thing I'm going to do just while I'm here, have a look at these. These things are hexagons. No, they're not octagons. Let's go into, I'm just going to select this one, and I'm going to press L on it, so I'll get all of it. And I'm going to go into rendered view, as I just noticed this. And you see how we've got that, it's got a lip on it. It's got a sharp edge. It's called a sharp edge. All right, and they're flat and they join at an edge, whereas most poles like this are perfectly round. So what we can do in our UVs and shading, and I'll just drag this right up here, so we have a good view. In our UVs and shading, we can choose smooth or flat. Flat is what we've got. Smooth looks like that. It rounds them out. Everything's rounded. The lip's gone. If you have a look at the one underneath it, it's still, it's not smooth. I'm going to try and get in as close as I can, but it's going to jam up on me. Oh, that's the bottom one. See how it's got that lip? Look at the difference there. So you can see that this looks round. Now, we didn't want to have to go and do it to all of it. So let's go back into material view and select all our rusty steel. That's rusty steel. They're all the pipes we want. I want them all to be round. So I'm going to select all of them. UVs, smooth. And that's going to change next to nothing. Oh, also, there's that one that wasn't thing. So I'm going to press L. Rusty steel selected, assign it, and smooth it. Beautiful. Very happy. Very happy indeed. Let's go to our, we're just going to go over here. I'm going to Okay, we remember these windows because they're just a pain. The windows. If you get too many, they're a pain. Another thing I'm going to show you just quickly. If you don't want to do join area, click there. But that can take time. So you can drag this corner instead of down, up into that. See that this arrow just popped in? I'll do it again. Oh, no, I'm going to pull it down and pull it down. Now I've got a double view. I hold down there and I drag that way up there. If I drag down, I'm dragging into the window it's on, and I don't want to do that. I want to get this one up into that window. It's that arrow that you're looking for. If you don't see that, you're making a new window. So let's put it up in there. And that's closed that off. If you've got any extras, just drag them down, right click, join area, or drag it into itself. A couple of other things you can do. You can duplicate a window. Check this out. If you want to work in two windows like this, toggle full screen. Careful of that. Don't do that. I don't like that. That gets rid of everything. Duplicate window. Now what's that done is I've got two blenders running. Exactly the same, but same scene. So I can work like this. Oh, wait on. I can work with two windows. Very handy if you've got two monitors. If you've ever wondered, I'm always dragging things off for the side here. I can work that there. It does. I don't think it takes too much processor power. I can change this one to my UV editor, well, node editor. There's my node editor. Don't need this open. Barely ever use that. Got two things here to work with. There's a lot of stuff. Let's close that off. Don't need it. Double click top. Back to where I want to be. Good. Fun with Windows. It's just usually the timeline here. It's been there so long I don't bother about it. Okay, so this is going to be the end of this one. It's been a big long one, 41 minutes. I've spoken a lot about stuff. I am going to let you have a go at that one. What else do we have to do? We'll put some textures on this one tomorrow night. We'll put the concrete. I think we'll make these girders, sort of the rusty metal. We'll probably just reuse all this stuff again. We're just going to put it all together. I'm going to go back into object mode before I do anything, and I'm going to go to my camera, and let's have a look at what it's looking like. Let's go F12. Now I'm on my render. Let's have a look at my render here. Now this is a lot of complex settings. Don't worry. I'm still on render 100 sampling. If it's shut, open sampling here in my camera view, camera panel. Render, we want that to be 100. That's our preview. That's when we're just doing rendered view down here. So it's not very clear. It's only 10. I got 100. I'm going to put that up to 200 just for this one. No, because I'm going to record this. I go 100, and let's have a look. I can, two ways to do it, F12 or this render here, not the animation. The animation is going to take forever. It's going to do everything. It's going to make it a huge disaster. Let's do render. And she's coming in nicely. That is... Oh, look at that. Our distance cut off. I'm just going to press escape on this one. Escape to stop rendering. I'm in UV editor mode, the UV image mode, so I need to go, I could go escape again, but I can also just change it back to 3D view. Now, our camera is had a cutoff. Over here, my fence disappeared. So, what are we going to do? We need to look at our camera. Right click on our camera and go to camera settings here. We have, where is it? Focus, no. Depth of field. Here it is. Start and end. It's clipping us at 100 meters. So this fence in real word terms is 100 meters away. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to turn it to 500. I don't want anything to disappear there. Just a small thing. And I'm going to go back here and press render. It's coming in. I'm liking the sand. The sand is our texture. We can't really notice the concrete, but it's good to put it in there because we may have an animated scene. I'm happy with the blue. Obviously our fence is still plain white, but at least we can see all of our fence up the back here now. And it's nice and big. We may scale it down. I think a big fence is important. These are dinosaurs. Let's not take any chances. And this is still looking a bit plain, but we'll jazz it up with some bricks and stuff. Yeah, it'll look nice, and we'll put a background. Another thing we might do, just before I go, I'm going to do another render. I'm going to save this one. Image, save as image. Where am I going to save it? There's my first render. I'm going to save this as second render and save as image. And now I'm going to go to my world settings. See the planet Earth? Hit the planet Earth. Click nodes. On color, I don't want this grey boring color. I want sky. Going to click on this little circle here and hit sky texture, the second one in the second column. Now, still we can't see any changes at the moment because this is our picture. Gonna hold my let's just press F12. Let's go back to render. F12 is render. Let's click there. It gets rid of that grey out the back there and sort of gives us a better idea. Because sky casts a certain amount of colour and blueness to the environment. Yeah, I think that's very nice. We shall finish this up next time, tomorrow night. We will have a look at maybe some trees in the background. We'll mess around with. We'll certainly put materials to these, and you could even, you could put stuff to it. But we'll put a brick texture here. We will put the red texture, red metal there. Anyway, mate, it's been too long. 47 minutes. All right, good work. I shall see you next time. All right.